Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Kramer. I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Research Librarian at Cornell University. I am here to just kind of give you a very quick overview of using NVDA, the screen reader, a free screen reader for PC. This is specifically geared towards people who are working on the Digital Library Federation's digital accessibility working group and would like to have an idea of how to use NVDA to test for accessibility. So I have up on here an older wiki page called Creating Accessible and Interactive Online Presentations. I also have the background NVDA is running.
Heading Level 1, Creating Accessible and Interactive Online Presentations.
I slowed down the voice a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for people to understand. Typically, one of the first things I do when I test is I try to check for headings. And by doing that, you press H.
Contents Navigation Landmark Contents Heading Level 2.
So that's telling me there's a landmark right there. It's a navigation landmark. It's titled Contents and is at heading level 2.
Accessible Online Presentations Guidelines, 2020/2021 DLF Forum Edit Link Edit Section, Accessible Online Presentations Guidelines.
I was kind of repeating it. So the way that this page is set up is that it not only has the Accessible Online Presentation Guidelines 2020-2021 DLF Forum as a heading, but it also has the edit button because I am logged in. And so that is why it's reading it twice. The main thing you want to look for with headings is to just see, number one, are they there? Number two, are they in order? There should be heading one, and then underneath that should be heading level 2. One good thing to kind of keep in mind is, I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. Looking at the contents, the way that this is set up, one thing that I really like about using wiki pages, or at least media wiki created pages, is that by setting up the headings, it automatically creates your table of contents. That table of contents gives you an actual visualization of how the entire page is set out and how your headings are. So you notice it said heading level 3, I believe it said.
Running Accessible Online Presentations Guidelines, 2020/2021 DLF Forum. Accessible Online Presentations Guidelines, 2020/2021 DLF Forum Heading Level 2.
That's heading level 2. So you can see on this page, heading level 1 is the Creating Accessible and Interactive Online Presentations, which I can prove that by going backwards by hitting Shift H.
Contents Navigation, Creating Accessible and Interactive Online Presentations Heading Level 1.
Heading level 1. That one does not appear in the contents because this is used as the title of the page. And then you see in the contents, it says number 1, Accessible Online Presentation Guidelines 2020-2021 DLF Forum. It's a heading level 2. And then we have Delivering Presentations. That's also a heading level 2. And then beneath that, it shows heading level 3, which is actually numbered on here, 2.1, because it's the second heading, as in not a level 2 heading, but the second heading on the page. And then it's the 3 items beneath it. 2.1 is Language and Respect. That's heading level 3. 2.2 is Presenter Audio Video. That's a heading level 3. And 2.3 is Best Practices for Shared Spaces. So this page, I can already tell immediately it has headings. I hit the H, I double check that. It's not just somebody bold or enlarge the font or something. It's a real live actual heading. Awesome. That's exactly what we want. So we got headings. Number 2, I'm going to check to listen for the links as well as for buttons or any other actionable items. I'm going to do this by tabbing. By tabbing, it'll go through it in order as it appears on the page to the screen reader. This may or may not be the order that it appears to a sighted person because pages can be flipped around and changed around for screen readers to make it much easier. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to hit tab.
Jump to navigation link. Jump to search link.
Those are two hidden links that people who are not using Screen Reader probably aren't necessarily going to see, notice, or even use.
Contents navigation landmark hide button.
That's telling me the context, and I can hide that, and I can just do that by hitting enter.
Show.
So now you can see it's changed to show. Visually on the page, the contents have disappeared, and I just have the major headings, the major text of the page. We're going to hit enter again.
Hide.
So that tells me that it activated show in order to show me my table of contents. I'm going to hit tab again.
List with 6 items. 1 accessible online presentations guidelines, 2020/2021 DLF forum link.
Very familiar to us by now.
2 delivering presentations link. List with 3 items. 2.1 language and respect link. 2.2 presenter audio and video link. 2.3 best practices for shared spaces link.
I'm just going through those top 2 heading level 2s as well as subheadings that were on heading or on heading number 2. So this gives you visually as well as audibly as well as it works for a screen reader, how exactly it goes through when you're using the screen reader. If I wanted to, I can jump down to a particular area that I want to go on here.
3 facilitating discussion in an online forum link. 4 designing presentation materials link. List with 5 items. 4.1 design your content for an online environment link.
Design your content for an online environment. That's the section I want to jump down to. So I'm just going to hit enter.
Out of list heading level 3 design your content for an online environment.
It's telling me heading level 3, design your content for an online environment. I'm going to hit the down arrow.
List with 4 items. If you are presenting with your camera on, make sure that the speaker screen isn't covering the text of your presentation. You can set up your presentation slides to link display side by side with link your speaker screen, or you can leave a corner of your.
So that's just listening to it with the arrow. I can arrow down through a page as well. It'll hit all the major text items. It'll hit the headings. It'll basically read everything, but only up to a certain amount of text. But that's why you start hearing it kind of breaks up. I can also listen to it by doing control arrow up or control arrow down.
Out of list heading level 3 design your list with 4 items. If you are presenting with your camera on, make sure that the speaker screen isn't covering the text of your presentation. You can set up your presentation slides to link display side by side with your speaker screen, or you can leave a corner of your presentation that is free of text or images where your camera can be viewed. If it is a live presentation, you can announce to the audience where this open space is at so they can adjust their own video screen so your camera won't cover the presentation.
And that will read the entire paragraph or heading or whatever that particular section of stuff is. And that also, because this one has another link within it, it also tells me that this page is using really good descriptive text. I'm going to hit the tab. I'm gonna hit the shift tab to go backwards.
Edit link edit section. Design your content for an online environment heading level 3.
So because I am also logged in, it gives me the edit for the editing the different sections. But I'm going to hit tab again.
List with 4 items display side by side with your speaker screen link.
So now it's going just to the link, just to the actionable items. And I could possibly show you this fairly fast.
Edit link edit section. Edit link edit section. List with 4 items. List with 2 ground rules. DLF code of conduct link. Ground rules for a respectful conversation link. PDF link. Edit link edit section. Edit link edit section. List with 4 items display side by side with your speaker screen link. Edit link edit section. List with 5 items new content placeholders to the slide master link. PowerPoint link. Google Slides visited link. Edit link edit section. Make text list with 6 items contrast checker link.
You can see that actually having text there instead of it just saying click here, click here, click here. It's telling me what would happen if I clicked there. It's not giving me the full context, obviously. So
Edit link, edit. List with 5 items, Google Slides visited link.
So it's just telling me I have visited this link recently. It's a link out to Google Slides. I don't know if this goes out to a page that like it actually goes to Google Slides, or if it goes to an information page about Google Slides. That's where arrowing up and down to get the rest of the context comes in.
Customize the reading order of elements added to slides. By default, applications such as Link PowerPoint and Visited Link Google Slides arrange elements according to a default template or in the order in which they were added to the slide. Arrange slide elements in an order that makes sense when being read by a screen reader.
That gives me the full context of it, so I can quickly jump through. I can try to find, maybe I'm looking for the login button. Tab, 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 tab. Listening for that login link comes in there, and then I can listen to everything around it. So we've looked at headings, we've looked at action links, we've done tabbing. Another way to check for links is
edit link, edit section.
By hitting the K button. It does, L is for list.
List with 6 items, provide minimal text on each. List with 3 items for bullet points, use a 24 to 32 point.
So it jumps from different lists, bulleted lists. K does link to link to link.
Contrast checker link. Edit link, edit section. Make text easy to see, heading level 3. List with 5 items, Google Slides visited link. PowerPoint link. New content placeholders to the slide master link.
So hitting K or Shift K will go forward and backwards. The H or Shift H will do the headings. You can go B, buttons, and listen for the different buttons, things like that, to go through and check it. And another thing you can do is you can simply go Control Home.
Out of list, heading level 1, creating accessible and interactive online presentations.
And use Control Down arrow to just go through and read every section of this. Or sometimes, you just go to a page and you just listen to it and you let it go through. Can you figure out how this page is put together? Can you follow through and find what things are doing? When you're first doing this type of testing, feel free to look at the screen. Most people who wind up using screen readers tend to not look at the screen because we don't really need to. It's a lot easier to figure out what's going on when you're not distracted by any kind of visual elements, depending on how much vision you have remaining to you. As well as, how things jump around and all of that kind of stuff. Some people, I've known people who've worn a blindfold. You don't need to wear a blindfold. I always feel like that's a little bit like overkill. Just don't look at the screen. If you really want to test yourself on a page you've never visited before, just don't look at the monitor and see if you can navigate through it. The very first time you ever go to that page, don't go to it when you're visually looking at that particular page. You can even turn off your screen if you want to, turn off your monitor and go through it that way. Everything will work totally perfectly fine. And you can unplug your screen, do whatever you want to if you want to get that, full experience. But those are just some quick ways of okay, so how does this sound like to a screen reader? Is it navigable? Can I perceive everything that's happening on this page? Can the actionable items, do links work? Do buttons work? Do actions action? And can I read through all of this? Is it set up by headings so it's easy to navigate? It's easy. There's structure to it. If there's an image on there, does the image actually have alt text?
Page.
I really don't want to try to navigate to see if this particular image on here, which is like the DLF logo, which is a blue background, white text, and a bit of white sparkles going off right before the D in the DLF. I don't want to try to navigate through this because I know that this is a massive page and I know all of this navigation stuff that's on the side here visually for everybody is actually in the bottom of the page for the screen reading. So I'm not going to check that. But the other thing is that when you do find a page and you do have an image on it, by tabbing, you should be able to get to the image and you'll hear it say graphic, whatever the alt text is. Or if it's really bad, it'll say graphic, P8 164992ZX.jpg, because nobody put in any alt text. It's just telling you whatever the title of the image is, and whoever created that image put that onto that website was not very creative at titling their images like what they actually are. So it gives you absolutely no information. So that's a very quick. This is how you can use NVDA to quickly check a web page to see, is this going to work? This works with web pages, with ebooks that are in HTML or that appear within your browser. You can do this. You can use this for Word docs, PDFs, all sorts of things. There are slightly different ways that you navigate through it. There's slightly different keystrokes that you'll use to navigate through it that I'm not going to cover because this is meant to be just a really, really short video. So I hope that'll kind of help you get started using NVDA.